Hello and welcome to Spencer's Library. I'm Claudia and today I want to talk about my hair. I normally talk about books on this channel, but not today. Today we are discussing this. And specifically, I want to talk about how I went grey in my teens and 20s. At time of recording, I am 28 and I have been going grey for 15 years of my life. That's right, I found my very first grey hair at age 13. I remember sitting in school and my friends on either side of me would spend their lessons plucking out the stray grey hairs that they saw on my back. Now I'm just going to, if I find some, I'm going to blend in some pictures of me at that time where you can see my hair, so you can see how much it has changed in the past 15 years. My hair used to be very dark brown and usually red as black. Obviously next to really black hair you could tell that there was a difference, but it was just that very standard Southern European brown black sort of with flecks of auburn in the summer sun. And then with 13 I started getting grey hairs, and the first grey hairs I remember even up to maybe 20. Hello Minerva. My hairs would kind of go stripy, so hair would grow, and if you looked at the individual hair you could see there was a grey section and then a black section and then another grey section, as if it couldn't quite decide whether to go grey or not. Unfortunately, I didn't end up zebra striped as I was hoping for, and instead now my hair is, it's kind of hard to tell, but I would say it is probably 30 to 40% completely white, and the rest of it is very much a salt and pepper type look. So you can see here there's a few streaks of grey, and then hiding behind there's a few dark brown hairs. It's kind of hard to show this in the video because if you look at my hair you might think that it only looks this grey because of lighting. But that's exactly why I'm wearing a black top for this video, because you can really tell that is what my hair used to look like, and that is what it looks like now. So I want to just tell you about my experiences of going grey so early. First of all, why? Where does it come from? Well, I know that my mum has been grey for as long as I can remember. I was born when she was 30, and by the time I was 8 or 9 I was already pulled in to help her with the hair dye, and that disgusting smell of ammonia will forever remain burned on the inside of my nostrils or something like that. I convinced her to stop dyeing her hair when I was about 16 or 17, and now she is a proud grey silver fox lady as well. She went grey in her 20s as well. And now I don't know if she went grey quite as early as I did, but it's definitely from her side of the family that I get these silvery genes. When I was younger, in my late teens, when it started becoming more obvious that I was going grey, and especially my early 20s when I was off at university, it was a bit of a novelty for other people. When I first started going grey at 13, you couldn't really tell unless you were sitting right next to me in school. But later on it became more obvious and I started getting these streaks, especially here at the front, of pure white silvery hair. I remember sitting in a musicology lecture at my first university, aged 19, and the guy sitting next to me could not believe my hair. He thought that I was wearing silver hair extensions, that I'd clipped in little streaks of silver. So I dared him to pull out one of my hairs and check, and he pulled it out and obviously it came out of the root. And he was fascinated by that. And I got that reaction a lot. People thinking that either I'd dyed my hair in silver streaks or that I'd somehow put in extensions or other kind of artificial hair. Now that I am nearing my 30th year, people are a lot less curious about it because I guess it's a bit more common to see women of my age starting to go grey. I used to get a lot of comments about my hair from my family, especially from my Italian extended family. Why don't you dye your hair? You really should dye your hair. Oh, look, Claudia, you look like a 60-year-old. And I was always quite good at deflecting those. I don't want to dye my hair. I should also mention my hair is quite long, so even dyeing this amount of hair would probably take a lot of money and more time than I want to spend on dyeing my hair. But actually, the more grey it gets, the more I like it. Why, it might not make me look as distinguished as I'd like to be. I think it's unique and I think it suits me. I like the shade of grey that I'm going. I'm not going yellow like my grandfather, my mum's father. He had very yellow grey hair, so I'm not going that way. I'm very much going into the sort of silvery white side of things, and I like that. I think it looks nice. Now, there are downsides to having this salt and pepper shade, and my biggest annoyance is that my hair tends to look more greasy than it is, simply because of the different streaks of colour. You can see the kind of hairs are a bit more separated looks wise, and that makes them look quite greasy sometimes, especially, I'm going to take my glasses off for this, especially here on the side where this streaking and this contrast is a bit more obvious. And I still haven't really found a way of styling my hair in a way that makes that less obvious. I have also noticed that the grey hairs that are coming in are thicker and more coarse than my brown hairs. So there is a bit of a textural difference and my hair tends to look more frizzy and unkempt as a result because of that mix of textures. But those are really quite a few downsides, and I have to say I like the effect of grey hair. For example, when I part it like this on the side, you can see the streaks going down the side. My mum also once asked me, why do you occasionally part your hair like that? Wouldn't you rather part it in the middle? If I part it in the middle, I'll show you that as well. Ooh, maybe I should have prepared a comb for this video. Let's use this random stick. So when I part my hair in the middle, the grey is a lot less obvious because it hasn't quite reached the top of my head yet. However, you can still very much see it in the length. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's a good one. Wow, you can really see, let me find some of my dark hair to contrast this. There, you can really see the difference. So anyway, I don't mind having gone grey. The most negative thing about it has been other people's reactions. So if you are in your 20s, if you are in your teens maybe, and you're watching this and you've noticed the odd grey hair, then don't despair. It's a really unique development that your body is going through through. It is super interesting to discover where the new grays are appearing. It's super interesting to see the texture of your hair change. And it's really fun messing with people's minds because partly because of my grey hair, people find it really hard to guess my age. Now, I am quite vain when it comes to my face, and I moisturize every day, and I exfoliate, and I put sunscreen on every single day. And I am very intent on staying wrinkle-free as long as possible. So it's not like I'm, you know, pretending to be just completely not care about how I look. But I like the contrast of having this grey hair with what I consider a still relatively young looking face. Now, obviously, once the wrinkles hit me, you know, that's fine as well. Aging is a natural process and I'm not afraid of it. But I just wanted to make this video to create an opportunity for people to discuss going grey while young. So if you've had this experience, then comment down below, let me know your story. If you have any questions about my hair and my greyness, then ask away as well. I'll be happy to answer them. Oh, I will answer one question straight away. Am I ever going to dye my hair? The answer to that is maybe. I like the idea of trying out a different hair color at some point. That color will not be my original color. I'm not going to go to dye my hair brown or black, but I would be interested to see how a dark blue or a dark green or a really dark red could look on me. So when my hair is completely grey, I might experiment with hair dye. But first I want to see what it looks like when it's completely grey as well, because I might look at myself with completely white hair and just absolutely love the way that looks. And in that case, I won't change a thing. But never say never, I might end up dyeing my hair. One thing I know for sure is that I'm not going to dye it to cover up my greys because they are part of me and I like them. Thank you for watching. Bye.